think that was a thing around Pokemon time.
Well, it's like the adult Pokemon. All right, what is going on, everyone? Welcome to Monday LinkedIn Live, 12 Eastern, 11 Central. Hopefully some of you are working from home today. These fine people decided to join me in the office to talk a little bit about social strategy. So what's up? Do you guys want to do some intros? It worked.
Yeah.
Caleb, it worked. It's working. We're all live. I love it. So this is Mercury's in retrograde, which I heard is like the worst thing on like the planet Earth when this happens. But I feel like everyone always talks Mercury's always in retrograde.
No, not always.
I know, but I feel like that's whenever people talk about it. No, nobody's ever like Mercury's good. You know, it's always Mercury's in retrograde, and people blame it for everything. So, all right. So over here we have Courtney and Bear, who help with our digital presence lead and digital presence account strategy. Nick is the latest addition of our team. Nick gets the most accolades in every team meeting. People love Nick. Clients love Nick. Welcome, Nick.
Thank you.
It's the best.
It's good to be here. It's the first time.
It's good to be here. It's like a show, right? You're like, thanks, Jake. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, that's great. Well, we're glad to have you. So today what we're going to do is we have had quite a few people submit to have us take a look at their LinkedIn profile. We've got a mix of companies. We've got a mix of individuals. So I think like I'll try to describe how I would describe each of you in your like ideas here. So Courtney, I would say, is more of the like algorithm, tactics. This is what you need to do. Get it done. Bear is going to have the crazy ideas or like the hacky ideas, right? So he'll have some off the wall stuff. So you'll learn a lot there. Then Nick, I think will be like consistent. What would you describe? Like, this is the content, this is what you should be putting out there, etc. So, that's what I think you can expect. What do you guys think? What about from me? What can you expect from me?
I think you're more the sales perspective side of things and messaging and
Closing deals.
Closing deals.
Getting shit done.
Exactly.
DUN. Okay. All right, so let's jump in. So we've got a bunch of people pulled up here. So I'm going to pull up our first group of people here. The very first person is Mr. Glenn Hart. All right, Glenn sent us a note. He's local here in Austin. How did Glenn get in touch with us?
Glenn actually commented on your post and he also DM'd me. And I said, you know what, Glenn? Great profile. Let's take a look at it.
All right. So, and again, the goal here is that we want all of you, we've got about 50 people right now, we want all of you to be able to take a look at what other people are doing and learn what you can do to get better on LinkedIn. The goal here is that all of you are doing something that's interesting, something that has, value. And so our goal with this is to take all of our collective knowledge, give you our insights, etc. So let's start with Mr. Hart here. What's up, Glenn? Thank you, by the way. I really appreciate every single person here who took the time to, volunteer for this, right? To say, hey, you know what? It might be a little scary or it might be a little nerve-wracking to have people like actually look at my profile live. So Glenn, shout out to you and the rest of the folks. Still, if you all have questions or you have comments or maybe we're going through this, feel free, drop your comments in here. I can't see comments right now. They are? Okay. All right, so if you guys have questions or comments, make sure to drop them here. If you learned a little nugget, if something that Bear said or Courtney said or Nick said sparked, some interest, make sure to drop a like or a heart. I know I prefer the hearts. It's Valentine's Day still in my book. So Glenn, look, one, he's connected to the two of you.
Well,
all right.
The most important part of all of this.
Well, obviously. Okay, so let's start here with Glenn. So Glenn's got about 1,100 followers. So let's just look at a few areas. So one, let's look at summary. I think this is the key area. So Courtney, whenever you think about someone's summary, what are the most important pieces to think about? How you're writing your summary to try to, basically get in front of or communicate to the right people.
Yeah, so your summary needs to be positioned for how you can help your buyer, not really how you're going to help like an HR manager learn about you. Like maybe, when you're finding a new job in a year or two or something, you can reformat this. But right now, the goal for most of these profiles is going to be to make sales, to get leads, not necessarily to get a variety of jobs. So I would say this about section is pretty light right now. And Glenn, it looks like you have, ample experience in construction industry in Austin and commercial real estate and all of that, which is clearly a booming industry with a lot of high demand, especially in Austin right now. So about section needs to be a little more how you can help, what you do, how you're going to give value. And I would say pair that about section with an updated headline too. So right now your headline is Director of Business Development at Gulf Coast Community Builders. What do you do there? So we typically recommend your headline to be, I help target audience achieve said goal through unique value proposition. So right now it's more your title, adapt it a little bit to what you do. By the way, we love the header picture, all Austinites here, well, Austin transplants, but gotta love that.
Representing. All right.
Represent ATX.
All right. So there you go. Talk to your buyer. I think that's pretty strong here. Nick, what about the posts? So we're going to go down to Glenn's posts right now and what Mr. Hart is posting. So he just posted 13 minutes ago. All right, there we go. So we've got a post here saying Happy President's Day. It's even got like a little Abe Lincoln, George Washington. Another kind of President's Day, talking a little bit about does anything magical happen? So he's got a little question here.
Yeah.
All right, and then we've got visitors. Might I recommend again? So like recommendations for people visiting Austin here. All right. So what are some themes, or what are some things that you can drive if you want? What are some things that you're seeing when you think about like what this could look like? For Glenn, what do you like? What could he double down on?
So what I do like is he's using a good use of hashtags now. We typically recommend using about up to 3, kind of the very broad ones as well as more niche ones, but sticking to 3, but the fact that you are using them is a really good use of them. So, keep that up. That's very good. In terms of just one quick thought on your latest post, sharing posts from other companies. Typically, all the engagement that you would get from a post like that will go to the original post and not so much to your own account. So just be aware of that and try and focus as much as possible on, your own thought leadership, your own sort of insights that you want to portray in the content you're creating. So stuff like this is good. I think overall it's really good. The main thing is also just making sure, we'll be getting this a lot from all of us, but make sure always that you're providing value in what you're posting on LinkedIn. So any bit of, sort of extra thoughts, any sort of extra insight that you can provide when you're posting. It doesn't matter if it goes a little long. Plenty of posts that we do here go very long. So feel free to expound on things. And making sure that, always providing that insight and your post will shine.
All right, love it. So there you go, Glenn. You're posting consistently. Kudos, bud. Literally, you're posting like every other day. Like that's really, really important. So I think again, you heard it here. You're resharing a lot from your company. Try to just have some additional insights on top of that, which you do a few different times in here. So overall, it's got some good area of opportunity.
Yeah, I would say another area of opportunity in one of your top performing posts was you talked about the new Apple campus coming to Austin. Talking about timely events like that in commercial real estate and development is going to be really good for you, especially since those things are often trending. The newsworthy things are trending on LinkedIn. So if you can kind of capitalize on those and give your own opinions of new developments or new changes that are coming to Austin and provide value in discussing those, that's going to be a strong area of content for you too.
Yeah. Glenn, you got to be the expert, my man. You got to be the expert in commercial real estate in Austin. All right, so we're going to switch it up. We're going to go to another company. We had a lot of people from FormStack that said, pick us. So we did. So FormStack is a workplace productivity solution. So the real big thing for a lot of people to think about whenever you're going through this is, a salesperson's job and marketing, there's some overlap, but marketing is going to have different goals here. And really, I think for a lot of what marketing is trying to do is provide broader air cover, right? So when you think about organic marketing for LinkedIn, right, and how marketing, it's how can we start to position our company overall as a thought leader in the industry? And a thought leader doesn't mean you're just resharing blogs. It's not why people are coming to LinkedIn or resharing content. It's really what are you doing to help to, again, establish, produce content that the sales team can then repurpose and have your own opinion on. And so as we walk through this, we've got, again, some let's revolutionize data collection together, right? So we've got like kind of this strong like image up top here. We've got a little bit of like a quick headline here. So Bear, when you kind of look at this like beginning page here, like what sticks out to you? So I'll just kind of scroll through some like the first.
Yeah, I like employee showcasing. It always it allows you to humanize your brand a little bit by allowing the faces to come forward. You've invested a lot of money in talent, hiring good people, innovative people. You want to put them forward. Brands or buyers want to buy from people, not from brands. This is something we like to throw around here. So the more that you're putting out those people front and center, the better. Two other things is, is where Jake has the screen now is, Daniel isn't tagged in this post. It would be a good thing to tag Daniel back, but also not resharing the content, as Nick was saying earlier. It's just going to, any engagement will take place in the comments of the original post and not on your actual resharing of the post. So you're not driving any sort of organic engagement there. But then, also they're not actually taking looks like, Daniel's got a link to the article in the comments, so he's doing that. As we know, LinkedIn loves to over-index on text-based content that keeps people on the platform, and FormStack kind of decided to go the other direction there. So all links in the comments would be is going to really help your reach grow immediately. And there's significant data on this too. This isn't just like some sort of thing where.
So what you're calling out is that make sure you put all the links in the comments, right? So if you have third-party articles, if you guys I did that basically a walkthrough like Gary Vaynerchuk's content, right? Gary Vaynerchuk puts out like 3 to 4 pieces of content, and consistently, if you look at his content, every single time he posts a link, boop, like engagement just shudders, and the guy's got 3 million plus followers. So if it works for Gary, it'll work for you too. And I think that the other thing too is that make sure, if you're FormStack here, there's a kind of a mix of content that's about employees and for buyers, which isn't the end of the world, like that's fine. But if you look at consistently here, if you're trying to get in front of more buyers, like let's take a look at like who's actually liking or interacting with your content. FormStack. Let's see here, my computer stopped. FormStack. So we see this all the time that, again, for companies in particular, that if you're not putting out content that is about your buyer, then you're going to basically be, you're going to be alienating your buyer from part of this. Nick talked about this here. You're using 7 different hashtags. So I think a lot of this, again, I like that you're highlighting some of your buyers here. But what's really important here is to make sure that you're making sure you're talking about what are you going to learn from reading this? Like for me, when I read this, I'm like, okay, cool. So obviously you've got it's the Pacers, right? So everyone's excited. You've got the Pacers, right? But the key is what's in it for me? And so I don't think there's anything here, and maybe Court or Bear, when you see a post like this where they've got an interesting hook where they've got this person from the Pacers, what could they do to make this post? Obviously, look, we've talked about drop the link in the comments, no brainer. Maybe chill out on the hashtags a little bit. But what about the content? What could they do differently around the content to actually make this piece of content pop?
Yeah, so they kind of have this teaser of Celeste from the Pacers is, sharing her digital marketing tips or whatever. She talked about how they make, digital marketing more efficient, how they focus on the fans. That's all a teaser, but nothing in here actually shows me how they can make marketing more efficient. It doesn't give me those tips. It doesn't pull out anything.
Or what am I going to learn? If
right,
I click
you
on
don't
this,
know what to learn.
Yeah, what am I going to learn?
Yes, we have this nice quote that kind of pulls out one insight, but have a bulleted list of insights from that podcast. What you're going to learn. Instead of just teasing, go listen to this podcast. Give them something up front. You have to give value. So, Celeste's top 5 tips for, increasing fan focus are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to make people click through a lot more than just having like an arbitrary teaser.
One other thing here is you got to keep in mind with content is unless someone's on the actual page here, that you're competing for the attention of everyone else who's in your feed. So if you're not offering up something of value that's going to stop someone in their tracks and actually make them want to click a link, then you're already losing. Would be my suggestion here. And if you want to just go back to the post, it's like unless your brand is making driving revenue off traffic to your website, then there's no reason you should be trying to first and foremost be promoting the click to a link that's going to drive someone off the platform. Give them all the information here. Give them everything, and then let them make that choice if they want to go and consume this piece of content. Because at the very worst, they're going to engage. You've been so thoughtful with how you're laying out the content that's within the podcast here. That they're going to stay here and engage. Because once they click off, sure, they can listen to it, but then what happens? They're 9.9 out of 10 times they're not going to come back and actually engage. You're not going to get any feedback. You're not going to drive anything as a result of it. So keep people here. This is an ecosystem. You have the ability to create.
Look, and you guys know this better than I do. This is not my area of expertise. Like, is it the SEO juice, right? Is this the whole reason? Like, I feel like a lot of, at least whenever we talk to marketers, and you all do this too, I feel like the reason that so many marketers put the links in here, do they get SEO juice from this?
Well, sure, people are clicking them, but it's
traffic.
We'd have to look at what the click-through rates are.
I'm just saying, like, will they get, like, if they're, like, let's say they're trying to rank around a keyword like teamwork or something like that, right? Will doing any of this, putting the link here, help at all with SEO?
A little bit, but what's more
Is it worth it? Is it worth it?
No, it's not worth it. Just having a LinkedIn profile and putting those keywords in your bio on LinkedIn or in your title on LinkedIn, that's going to help a lot more than posts like this.
Okay.
This is a long-term play. The more we can try and cultivate this ecosystem, we like to talk about building a community around the brand, around the person, what have you. The long-term play is here. We build out the ecosystem. You cultivate the engagement. You get people conditioned to when they see something from your brand, they're going to stop and engage. And then when you want to shift your strategy a little bit, now like 8 out of every 10 posts are value driven, and then 2 we can use to try and drive someone to something for a specific purpose. Now that's something that's okay because you've conditioned this audience to probably come back and engage with you because you've been so value driven for so long. So that would be just
and let's say your LinkedIn profile, your posts have like a 2% click-through rate, which would be really strong. If you include that link in the post because you want some sort of SEO value or you want more traffic, it's going to show your post to like 100 people, right? You're going to get 2 clicks. If you just put it in the comments, yes, there's going to be less people that initially notice it, but your post is going to show to 1,000 people, and then you're going to get a lot more clicks. So it's kind of weighing what's more important, like up front or getting more awareness and more impressions overall. So it's, like Bear said, it's more of a long-term play. And if you're just looking for these like quick, short little wins without looking at the longer term, like what's going to help my audience, what's going to boost traffic in the long term, you're not winning.
So advice is, if you are a company and I've got a choice, I want to post this because I want the SEO juice.
Yeah.
Right now, I know that to your point, it's going to short circuit the amount of people that are going to see this 100%. Now, do they get the same juice? And again, I don't know. So I'm very curious here. Do they get the same juice if they drop it in the comments? Like, do you get, is it about the linking off of LinkedIn, period? Or does it have to be in the post? Does it have to be like?
Yeah. It's a nominal difference. There's, like I said, there's more SEO, I like that word, SEO juice in how your profile is actually built and put together than there are in the individual posts on LinkedIn.
Okay. So there you go. So if you are a marketer and you're like, but Jake, I want the SEO juice. You heard it here from the team. It's not worth it, right? The juice is not worth the squeeze, right? So drop the links in the comments, and I'm telling you, you are going to get in front of like 10 to 30x more people because LinkedIn is not going to penalize your post for linking off the page. Right, that's really what we're talking about here. So, Stack, you guys are doing a great job of putting out a lot of content, and it sounds like you guys have a lot of this. This one's a really good example for me. Again, 3 HIPAA compliance facts non-medical businesses need to know. But again, you got to call out what are the 3 things.
Right.
Like get me to engage with it a little bit. But again, if I go to here, let's see who liked it. Form stack, form stack, form stack, form stack, right? Because only your employees are seeing it. And so this is a really good piece of content that you could, again, with just a little bit of love and just taking the link out, giving a teaser when people are scrolling by, that can get more people to click into it.
Yeah, one thing you're also missing out on here is, social media is inherently social. You want this conversation to be happening in your comment section about what these 3 things are. If people go and click to your blog, there's not going to be conversation had around that. People don't really interact with each other in blogs like they used to, 10 years ago. So you want to try to get as much conversation on the platform as possible. Also, someone let's see, Paula and Michael both just asked if this is being recorded. Gotta just say, yes, these are all recorded. They're on Jake's YouTube channel. Kara can drop the link. We have a whole playlist of all of the LinkedIn lives from the last year. So you'll be able to see that after this and go check it out if you want to look at previous LinkedIn lives.
Boom. Kara will drop it in the links. But yes, it's being recorded. And again, the goal is that if you all have questions as we're going through and you're like, okay, because we talk about this shit all the time. So if you guys have questions as we're going through this and you're like, wait, can you guys double click into this? Or can you tell me more wait, why shouldn't I post a link? Just feel free to drop it in the comments. And we'll try our best to elaborate as we go through this. So, all right, so next up, our next volunteer was Mr. Will Tang. What's up, Will? So Will, so we've got Will's profile here, connecting Canadian companies with alternative capital.
I like it.
I like it too.
Yeah.
I like it too. Right?
Look at that.
Right? What stands out to you, Nick? Why do you like it? Why are you like this? This is a good headline.
Well, as Courtney was saying earlier, just the fact that you're actually saying what it is you do, as opposed to just this is my title and this is where I work. This is what I can actually perform, and in a business relationship with my clients, this is what I provide. So just that clarity up front.
Yeah, it's like the what you do, not the your. I don't even know if that makes sense. It's it's not like your job title. It's cool. I look at this and within 5 seconds, I know exactly how Will Tang can help me.
Yep. Yeah, if his headline was just CRO at front funder, people may see that and be like, okay, whatever. But if I was a Canadian company looking for capital, of course I would want to connect with him. Of course, everyone would want to connect with him.
And just think of what Jake was talking, or Courtney was talking about earlier with, this isn't a resume any longer. And what Jake just said, juxtaposed there, is we want to know what you can do and how you can help us. So if you think of the first thing someone's going to see when you're trying to connect with them or they're going to land on your page is that connecting Canadian companies with alternative capital. Well, the second thing they're most likely going to do is click on your content, and they're going to look at where your expertise lies. And that is what, if you want to think of the resume again, this is now a library of your expertise. This is where any single person who wants to work with you, hire you, what have you, is going to go here and look to see what you've done. They're going to watch you engaging on a high level with people who might be buyers of your product, users of your product, thought leaders in your industry. This is the look that this will give you is going to be a significant boost, regardless of what you're trying to accomplish here.
Yeah, and Will, my advice to you, man, I want us to try to move to a button so we can get through 5 or 6 more. But with Will, there's a reason, so none of your posts are getting engagement right now. So you're putting out content, but not a single one has a comment, right? And a lot of this is just, again, going back to what we've talked about, which is what's the insight? So again, you're doing a webinar here, and yours is why should I invest? But tell me the top 4 things I'm going to learn. Look, so if you come and you check this out, here are the top 3 things that you're going to learn, right? We're going to talk about this, 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 and this. And again, we're not going to keep talking about dropping the link in the comments. But again, that's how you're going to make sure that you get more reach. Again, I'll just go through this for so we can look at this. Again, the good part is, what I see about your engagement is look, there's a lot of people that don't work at this company here.
Yeah, that's good.
So it's look, it sounds like to me here, man, you've got people you're doing alternative capital. You've got people here from a different capital company. You've got, I thought I saw like Scotiabank, Cortland Credit, Collier's probably somebody, Royal Bank. So it's like you've got people that are engaging with your content. It's like now can you start to get like a conversation going with these people where they're commenting on it, they're saying what they want to learn or asking them. Like that'd be that's a classic kind of Courtney technique. Like ask them, hey, we're going to cover these 3 things. Like what are 2 things you want to cover, right? So you're getting engagement from people that don't work at your company, which is great.
Yeah, I want to add one more thing. So again, your headline in itself, it's like every, emerging Canadian company is going to want to connect with you. So you need to be adding like 100 to 150 people in your ICP every single day. That's going to skyrocket your audience, your followers. I mean, anyone who works in investments is going to be someone that any startup is going to want to connect with. So start adding those people every single day.
Yes. Does everyone follow?
Especially since Canada is such a. I mean, you're going to Canada this week, right?
I'm going to be in Halifax.
Yeah.
If any of you are in Halifax or know of anybody in Halifax, let me know. I'm doing a workshop there Thursday, Friday. Obviously, I'm going to eat seafood.
Don't freeze.
That's all. It's 2 degrees on Thursday. 2 Fahrenheit, which is like negative
65
30.
here in Austin.
It's going to be 81 today.
Oh, God.
81 today. 2 degrees in Halifax.
Just warm.
Great job to volunteer to go out in February. I'm excited, though. If you guys know anything great going on in Halifax, please let me know. All right. So, Bear, I'm going to toss it back to you. We're going to go back to the companies. So, another company that was volunteered by one of its employees, who shall remain nameless, was Upwork, right? So, Upwork, obviously, maybe many of you know Upwork. They are a basically like part-time labor, part-time help folks. We've actually found a lot of really, really good people. I'm a big fan of Upwork, actually. So, all right, so let's go to Upwork here. So first, you got a leading online talent solution transforming professional staffing. And maybe what we'll do here, we didn't do it in the last one. Let's go to their about. Let's see how we like their about here. So, you can take a quick peek here. Looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, this is strong. I
What
like
in
the formatting is good.
Yeah. It's easy to digest.
Yeah, easy to digest. It's not really like a whole wall of text. They did a good job breaking up. I like the bullet points. I like the links to how you get to the other social profiles.
Okay.
It's a good example of what to do.
Yeah. So link talking about what they do. It's like, cool, I need a freelancer who's in sales and marketing. Like, they can help me, right? It's not like we can do all these different things, right? So they say 8,000 skills, but then they kind of go a little bit more narrow. Now, granted, they basically said like every job, every role in here.
We do help on everything.
Clicks to the apps, got a lot of stuff in here, but it's like not too bad. High level. Let's go into this, like what we do.
Oh, nice.
They've got like this is what a premium profile looks like.
Yeah, you can pay extra to have your career, life at Upwork and what we do and all of this built out a little more.
Yeah, let's look at the content if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I think this is a really good example.
We should look at the ads on one of these too.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah.
So a couple things on content. I mean, Upwork's a people company. It's a people business, and the first 2 things that it's doing with its content is asking an insightful question that applies to both a buyer and adopter of Upwork, so someone who might want to hire someone, but also someone who wants to get hired. And then, that's just cultivating. It's setting the trajectory for great engagement. And then the second post is actually featuring someone who can be hired. And for a people business, if I want to use Upwork to potentially fulfill a need that I have, and I see content that's speaking directly to that need by featuring someone who could actually physically walk, well, Upwork's more remote, but in theory, like walk into my door and I get hired to do a job, that's very impactful. So for this business, the content here, aside from the links being shared in the body copy, is really strong, I think.
Yeah, the strategy is strong, right? That like this concept. And just imagine so if you're a marketer and let's say, you have a salesperson who just closed a big contract with Google and you're trying to position yourselves in the IT space. Why not highlight your team helping other people like in the IT space. It's the same thing. And I think a lot of people, a lot of marketers struggle to know how to loop in sales in a way, but I think this type of spotlight plays.
I think
For sure.
one thing that there's an opportunity to create content around that I'm not seeing right now is thought leadership on the gig economy. Why this is a new revolution in working, like how people are working this way and like taking, you know, their work into their own hands, being their own boss, stuff like that is really strong on, and you kind of do this in featuring the people, but definitely about the economics, about the money, about just the landscape of working in 2020 and what it's going to look like in the future. Huge opportunity for thought leadership here.
Yeah, and you can kind of see how some of this even plays out. So I just want to call out the data here. So, and just let's take a look at this. So they included a link in this post. 104 interactions, only 1 comment, even though we like the content. No link, just follow your heart, 320. Same thing, just highlighting people, 372. Right? No link, just video, 216. Right? So again, consistently, what you'll see with your post, again, now we'll look. I put a link in the comments, 99. So my friends, like, this is it in action. Stop putting links. And again, this is my bad. I should just stop talking about this because everybody does it. It's not your fault.
Yeah.
It's how marketing. You're not paying attention to how the algorithm works. But I'm telling you now. So now you're just being lazy if you don't do it. Okay. So let's go on to Mr. Brad Snow. Right. So Brad Snow, enterprise IT strategist, co-founder of Tech Exec Roundtable. Your signal in the noise, bridge point, right? I'm guessing the 3s are
He's gonna let an Indiana people in here.
Well, I'm from the Midwest, so she's like.
So yeah.
That's right. Well, you're a mix. You're
I'm
like
a mix.
you're part Texan, but you can't. But I don't think any Texan would allow you to claim both. I think every Texan would be like, look, you're either a Texan or you're not.
I was born in Houston,
so you're a Texan.
I think that counts.
Yeah, you're a Texan who lived in the Midwest. And then you came back. Because Texans are great. My daughter moved here when she was 2 months, and I asked a Texan. They're like, nope, not a Texan.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, it's like very straightforward. Like if you're not born in Texas, you can never be a Texan. That's what Texans say. I obviously wasn't born here.
All are welcome in Texas.
Welcome, yes.
Y'all means all.
Did you make up?
No, there's a flag on South Congress that says y'all means all.
Y'all means all.
This is my new motto.
All right, so you got Brad Snow here. What's going on, Brad? So Brad's got enterprise IT strategist and then kind of like co-founder. He's got, I think he's the first person we've seen that's had like a personal kind of thing up here. We didn't talk about Will. Will didn't really have one.
Definitely would recommend doing a header photo. You can make it, you know, as fancy or as simple as you want, but just having something there just looks nice. You know, if you want to make your own custom one, use Canva. There's a lot of templates. They're free, pretty easy. Or just drop in a picture of something you do. But it just looks better.
All right, so here is his summary. So that was the other thing with Will we didn't talk about. If you guys don't have a summary, put together a summary. Like Will Tang, your profile was like a good start. Like you didn't have a summary. Let's put a summary. That's like really low-hanging fruit. So Nick, what do you think about the summary here? What do you think about what goes into this here? Like how would you suggest someone like utilize this or not?
Well, I think he's doing a good job of providing pretty good information. What he does, what his company's doing. Building long-term relationships with clients. Obviously, a lot of ways to connect with them. Maybe a bit long, want to stay focused, but at the same time, he's got a little bit about himself, a little bit about, the company he works for, so that's all good. Just make sure that, this kind of stuff about yourself should also come out in the content you're posting, so you don't need to post everything all up in front, as long as you're kind of conveying your insights and your expertise consistently through what you're posting.
Yeah.
You don't need to put everything there. Still, it's something to start off from.
I have a question for y'all. Do you think it should be in third person or first person?
First person.
So Brad's is in third person.
It looks like it was copied from the website.
Well, most people, I've seen that. Most people. Gary Vaynerchuk's is in third person. His is Gary this, Gary that. I think that goes back to the days of the resume, right? Like I think most people whenever, and even mine, right? Like whenever I had my like LinkedIn profile, I wasn't paying attention. Mine was like Jake is a blah blah blah. But now I just think it's just legacy. It's just legacy behavior. But what do you agree? First person?
I think it's LinkedIn is becoming more casual and conversational, and so I think first person is
I think so too.
It's smart. It's a little more relatable, right? Like you would never go to someone's like Instagram profile and it would say Courtney Johnson is a blah blah blah. No, it's more conversational. So yeah, but I also like how he has a Calendly link on his in his
why
summary.
not?
That's smart. I think I'm gonna steal that, Brad.
Why not? I think the key is that I would say he's maybe just it's too salesy up front. There's not enough about like the value that Brad adds to his customers. Like to me, this is about Brad. I'd like to see more in here about like, kind of a combination of this. Like this is my methodology as Brad versus Bridgepoint's, and like Brad taking some like more ownership over it.
Exactly. Let them get to know you first, Brad, and then introduce them to your business.
I have a question for you, Jake, on this too. I feel like I see a lot of people that in their about section, they really push their experience. Like, I have 20 years of experience.
Yeah.
I have 30 years of experience. Is that necessary, or can people just infer that by the rest of your profile?
I mean, if you have it, why not flaunt it, right? Like especially if it's relevant to that industry. Now, there's a difference, I think, and I don't totally know what Bridgepoint does, but I think my point would be, if I've got 20 years of sales experience and I'm like the best sales leader of all time, like I think that's pointless. But if it's like, look, I've got 20 years of proven experience helping people in this industry, such as this, this, and this, with this, this, and this, then yeah, absolutely.
So it's about how you frame it.
Mm-hmm. Is it experience that's relevant to your audience, or is it experience that makes you an amazing salesperson? Mm-hmm. Which Brad doesn't do too much here.
Yeah.
Like
and Brad, that's the six ways to success. Make that into a post. That's a good snippet.
All right, so we'll take a quick peek here at some of Brad's comments. So Brad linked in the comments. Look at that. There we go.
Nice.
He's been listening. We'll just make sure we toss a little like out there. There we go. Primo, you just liked that. So again, he tossed the zoom in there.
That's cool.
All right. So again, the key though would be like, hey, again, you just did this. What were the top 4 takeaways? Like you have to. Don't make me have to go click the zoom. The likelihood I'm going to click it, I'm sorry, my man, is like 0.5%. That's for most of you putting out vlogs. Like, I'm cool with that. Like, it's fine. So always make sure to share your insights, right? So you had this amazing webinar here. Like, what happened? Entice me to want to like click and learn more.
Before you post something, ask yourself, like, if I was somebody else, would I click this? Would I interact with this? If the answer is no, you probably need to reframe it.
Mm-hmm. But again, like he's putting out content consistently, which is great. Yeah,
consistency is the hardest part. So.
No, and to that, with a lot of this content, a lot of times people think, oh, I've got to put, the content, all of it up in one post. But so much of the content you can break into like 4, 5, 6 different posts. Like that webinar, I'm sure there's dozens of different points you can pull from it and make those each a different post. So kind of being able to break it up, being aware of like there's a story in each little sentence, each little quote that you can pull from any written form, any audio form, any video form. So look for those opportunities, and it just that helps with the consistency because it's just so much more you can pull from.
Yeah, and I think we've also consistently seen don't use hashtags in the header of your post. Like don't use like blank hashtag blank blank hashtag. People, when we see that, we know you're trying to get like views, and we're not a big fan. Like have some authentic thought out of the gate, and then start to maybe work in some hashtags. So even though you don't have too many of them, the only other thing I see with Brad is that, and he's the first person we've seen, is Brad's putting out a lot of posts. But just know, Brad, that if you put out posts too close together, LinkedIn will start to penalize you as a spammer. And so you got to wait. What's our typical? How long do we say?
A few hours.
Like three or 4. So wait 3 or 4 hours before you put out content, because it will kill your momentum on additional content. All right. So next up, somebody tags Salesforce. So this will be one of the only enterprise companies that we'll take a look at. So Salesforce has 1.9 million followers, which is a ridiculous amount of followers for a company. Number 4 on LinkedIn, top companies. one person from my school. Apparently, you don't hire very many people from Missouri State. Salesforce, it's messed up. Go Bears. They won last night versus Drake, in case anybody's wondering. Okay, all right, so let's talk about Salesforce. Obviously, look, Salesforce, big enterprise SaaS company, one of the biggest enterprise SaaS companies in the world. This is a company that serves a lot of different masters, right? They've got marketing solutions, sales solutions, they've got CPQ, they've got finance, they've got Einstein, etc. Right? So for a company like this, I think it can be difficult, right, to know what am I talking about, who am I posting to, like what matters. So we'll try to. I think we should try to factor some of this in. But again, what I want you to do is think about this: 1.9 million followers. Their whole goal is like, how can they get more people to activate it? Salesforce has a sales team that's got tens of thousands of people. I don't know how big Salesforce is, right? 10,000 plus people, right? So how can we make sure that the sales team is also using this content as well? So let's first maybe go to, do you just want to stay on the post?
Yeah, I would stay on the post. But yeah, almost 2 million followers with only like 500 reactions and 14 comments is a lot lower than you would think it would be.
Yeah, so
I
here
think
we
there's
go.
definitely some things here.
So here's like a good example. So this is their post from yesterday. Our customers informed every piece of innovation. This is how we never stop innovating. So this is a cool video that highlights the combination, it looks like, of some of their customers and some of their, their own Salesforce stuff. So again, you've got 256 likes, 2 comments, right? And then again, I don't want to go to beat the dead horse, but Salesforce. Okay, so point being, again, your employees are just grabbing this, they're just liking it. And then don't forget, let's do ads on this one too.
Yeah.
Let's dissect, let's look at the ads. So again, if you're still posting your links in the post after this, I don't know how much more we can tell you. If you just take away one thing and you stop doing that, what do you think we can guarantee here? At least double interactions.
Yeah, more than that.
At least double. Courtney says 500x, but like you can at least double it, right? I think 500x too. So again, but okay? I'm gonna go to the next one here.
Can I jump in real fast? Just the reason as to why it's important is that LinkedIn has invested a lot of money in developing its own infrastructure, from the blog platform to Point Drive to SlideShare to SalesNav to, I don't know if I'm missing anything. Learning solutions. They want to keep people on the platform so they can take advantage of all of those additional programs that they've built. So, that's the reason why. If you needed a reason why, that is why it happens. So, yeah. There you go.
Post it natively. You know what? You know where this would go really, really great is in all of your salespeople's profiles media. All of your we haven't seen a single salesperson or person here that is using media yet. Use media. Why wouldn't you? Again, think about making your own personal page like a little hub where I can gorge on information.
LinkedIn also just updated last week the media to be even bigger and more prominent than it has been. So it's more important now than ever.
So, all right. So again, Salesforce, organic, consistently, high-produced videos, right? They're obviously spending a shit ton of money on these. Mm-hmm. All highly produced videos here. Again, we've got kind of like a peek behind the door here of culture for Salesforce.
I have something about highly produced videos on social and on LinkedIn. High produced videos are great. They're expensive, but there can be just as much value in having a balance. I would love to see an executive just post a selfie video of them in their office.
Dude.
That would be so relatable. And sometimes the more highly produced the video is, the more out of scope it is, or less attainable and relatable it can be. So they're good. Just I would sprinkle in some other things.
For a company like Salesforce that's creating a ton of video content and it's all high quality, this is where, Jake, when we talked about how we can use YouTube to drive a micro content strategy, is a company like this should be taking every piece of raw footage, video that it has, and uploading that to YouTube and allowing that to dictate the micro content strategy from there. The analytics that you'll be able to see from YouTube's platform which is entirely similar to Google because they're the same, is going to allow you to see where exactly people are stopping, starting, sharing content within the constructs of the length of your video. So if you know from the 2-minute and 30-second mark to the 3-minute and 48-second mark, that is the most trafficked part of an 11-minute video, let's cut that out and then embed it natively on LinkedIn, because you know you've already tested this with a massive audience through YouTube. And what's driving people to YouTube? Your brand, the brand awareness for your product, for your company, but also keyword. So keyword search from Google and YouTube are going to drive traffic to that page. So if you know that specific keywords are driving people to specific videos, cut out the video that's performing the best, embed it natively on LinkedIn, and now here you go. You have the highest performing video that you could possibly come up with from that original piece of content.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just scrolling through here. So here's what I want you to think about. Like if you're in marketing, and this is Salesforce, right? They have, I don't even know, what do you think Salesforce spends? I mean, we could go look online, but probably, I don't know, $500 million in advertising. I mean, it's got to be ludicrous. Here's what I want you to think about. I'm just going to scroll through all of their content. 1 comment, 0 comments, 0 comments, 4 comments, 1 comment, 3 comments, 0. So I just scrolled through 6 posts and I had less than 10 comments. Like, my friends, this is not how you do it. Like, you're trying to create community around your profile. You want the content people out, not just to click the like button. You want them to look at this stuff and you want them to say like, oh, cool, like, hey, tell me more, like, interact. And right now, the big area of opportunity for Salesforce and organic is to create the type of content that people actually care about and want to interact with. You have 1.9 million followers. There's absolutely no reason why we couldn't just put together slightly better organic content that would see a massive increase in this. It really is remarkable. You know, just how much money people are leaving on the table by just not making their content more relatable. I mean, look, 144 is 0.
Yeah, and clearly there's already a really there's a passionate community around Salesforce. So not only do you want people to just be commenting, but you want there to be a community in the comments and people interacting with each other. And that's one of the biggest and coolest things that we see on our profile is people have like full discussions and ask questions, and we really activate our community here at Skaled. So, you know, Salesforce should be doing that, absolutely.
All of you in marketing, like it's the biggest opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Just to make these posts more relatable. So again, let's go to.
Well, I like that they have different ad formats. That definitely breaks it up a little bit. And
yeah, so if you're ever wondering, you can always go to a company's page and you can see the ads they're running, right? So you can see again here, like here I just clicked on like a list of some of like their ads. So again, they've been running this one for a month.
Wait, you need to go back to ads.
I thought I clicked on it, didn't I?
You clicked out.
Did I?
Yeah, this is it.
All right.
Yeah, if you scroll down to like those ones, I like that they have a different format because not a lot of people use alternative formats. So if you do use an alternative format in the ads, it can stand out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Those are the top performing ads on Facebook historically.
Yeah, carousels.
Yeah, again, it's like this ad in particular, like I look at something like this, I guarantee if they put in the top 3 or 4 things that you would actually learn, that their downloads for this would skyrocket.
Oh yeah.
If they just said how to attract more leads and you need to grow your business, boom, 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 and then like download to learn more, and then like let's see even like how big of a pain in the ass it is to just get the content.
Why don't you talk a little bit about why this is an effective strategy?
Okay, so now imagine this. So let's just talk about why this is not the right strategy for like LinkedIn. I mean, Barry, you can talk about it too. So I'm on LinkedIn, I'm watching this piece of content, and this is what you send me to. Like, what should I do differently?
Offer the value on the platform, because someone's going to come. The odds are of all the people who are going to fill out this form and download this guide, they're never going to come back and you won't hear from them again. But if you create those opportunities, it's not like a message board where someone's going to go in and read something really insightful or thought-provoking and go in and comment on where other people can engage with them. give away the value on the page on LinkedIn itself, and then encourage the engagement from the people who are consuming the content. Because again, if you're driving them away, you're losing that person, and now not only is your content going to be devalued by LinkedIn's algorithm, but you're also going to lose the possibility for engagement. So just continue to, or take that information that's in the white paper, the ebook, and this is like what Jake stumbled on or realized about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, is that white papers, ebooks, blog posts weren't performing as well as they used to. So we extracted the value out of those content pieces and put them on LinkedIn. And here we are.
And here I am trying to download this ebook. Okay, I just clicked yes, and it won't let me submit. Like, we just tried like 8 different ways. Like, dude, so many companies, I mean, we see this all the time. Companies are so asleep at the wheel with the work that their agency is doing, because this isn't Salesforce, this is their agency, that they're not even paying attention to this stuff. And again, it's not your job to spot check every single piece of work your agency does, but I'm just telling you, we see this with a lot of agencies that they're just not, they're literally taking the exact same format, they're giving it to their rep at LinkedIn Marketing Solutions and saying, hey, go run this, and it's not working. So again, you can see here, there's a lot of opportunity for Salesforce, a lot of opportunity to create a little bit more engagement with their buyers.
I want to throw out one more thing. If you think about a white paper, an ebook, or something, a long form piece of content, you might be able to extract 100 pieces of micro content. So LinkedIn posts from this one piece of long form content. Now you're creating 100 opportunities for engagement with your ICP. If you just think of it that way, versus sending them away from the platform, letting them download and walk away, you might not ever see them again. I'm going to take the 100 chances that my content is compelling enough and that my people can stir engagement and can engage with these buyers in the comments over investing a lot of money on creating a white paper and just asking someone to download it and give me their email.
Yeah, hoping. Hoping they're going to download it. So, all right, so last but not least, we're going to go back. We got one person time, Mr. Leland Dino? Do you think it's just the E silent, just Dino? I'm really bad at this.
Well, if the E silent, then it's Dino, D-I-N-O, right?
Yeah, well, it depends.
Dino.
I can see it.
We're probably
I'm sorry,
all saying
Leland.
it
I'm
wrong.
very sorry.
Sorry, Leland. If you've watched any of my LinkedIn lives, this was not my strong suit. Okay, so we're going to do one more person here. And again, goal here is, and again, I do want to take, Chad Jansen had a question in here that I think is important. Like, how do you translate this into sales? So everything that we're talking about, there's a couple different ways. One, the better your profile is, the higher your connection accept rate is going to be, right? If you're asking to connect with me, I'm in your buyers, and I look and say, it's like, so-and-so is in alternative markets, right? And I look and I see that, right? Then I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to be more likely to connect with you as opposed to like senior account executive, right? So that would be one. Like, you're going to get a higher connection rate just like off the jump. Two, if you're posting content, it actually gives me a chance to interact with the content proactively, right? So therefore, you can actually wait and see if people interact with your content. And then when they interact with your content, then you can reach out to them, right? And this is a play that we run at Skaled every single day, where people that might interact with, who are in the right kind of ICP for us, we reach out to. So you can get more like organic, inbound, etc. Two is you have a reason for reaching out to them. If you're putting out content like Leland, if Leland's putting out content, right, that's around this type of, around his space, he can now share that content in his direct messages. So Chad, that's how you can do it. That's how you can basically use this type of content to engage with more people. Is you get a higher connection rate, you get more people that are dedicated to who are more interested maybe in your content, and then you can reuse that content. That's what we do at Skaled. And I should not be showing anybody with a fucking Raiders hat on. Sorry. I'm not a big fan of the Oakland Raiders. Go Chiefs. Sorry about that. All right, but I do like Leland. Leland's a good dude. I did a podcast with him, didn't I? Yeah, I did. I did a podcast with him last week. So anyway, all right, so here's his content, agency. All right, so what do we think here? So here's his posts. He's got 4,600 followers, solid.
Yeah, I think this is an interesting time to talk about video. Video is obviously a really strong medium to use. But on LinkedIn, you really got to make it concise and get to your point really fast. People tend to scroll through LinkedIn on mute or just like at their desk and aren't listening. So if you want people to watch your video, you need to put in the copy, like why they should watch it, like give them value in the copy as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think he does a good job of like starting to get some of that.
Yeah,
right?
I definitely think so. I mean, it's a great video.
Yeah.
Also, the link.
The personal, you know, it's more personal, but it still looks highly produced. Like it doesn't
Yeah, I
look,
like it.
it doesn't look bad. Like he had like an intro there, if you guys saw that. But again, like yeah, this is a really good example, right? Like classic, like text post where he's talking to like his Vancouver friends, like performing pretty well. Again, here's kind of like a reshare with no insight, right? We talked about this. You know, you get one comment or one like, 3 comments. Again, so I think this is just the trend, right? Share your own insights, right? And I think we're seeing across, you know, someone like Leland who does a great job with video. You know, you can kind of see like what he's doing here. He's got a mix of like that pre-roll that he runs on all these videos. You know, he's got like this like, you know, kind of like he's definitely got a personality that comes out as a part of this too. And then he gets into like kind of like more of a real format, which is awesome.
Yeah, keep it up on the videos. Those are really good.
What else? What other closing thoughts for Leland here?
You just need more value in the actual copy. Yes, you have all of the value in the video, but in order to get people to watch the video and watch till the end, you need to have something that gives value up front.
Did you mention transcribing the videos?
Ooh, yeah, transcribing definitely helps, having the captions on it.
I wouldn't ever post a video to LinkedIn if it wasn't transcribed.
What do you mean? Oh, you mean not transcribed, you mean caption.
Yeah, I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Caption.
Yeah, why
That's
not? It makes things easier, and you can use like rev.com, you can use Fiverr, there's enough services out there to do it. But again, like great mix up of content, he's got a mix of video, he's got a mix of text, you know, like there's a ton of really good stuff in here that I think you're just laughing because you know what I'm thinking in my head every time I see the Raiders hat, and I want to just like mom it.
Well, Rolf Van Schwartzbeck just commented, Chiefs. So.
Oh, what's up, Rolf? I know Rolf. Rolf lives in Zurich now, but he's a big Chiefs guy.
Leland, use YouTube for your videos.
All right, my friends. So I apologize we could not get to all of you. I think this has been like a productive session.
Yeah, we'll have to do it again.
Right? A lot of people doing a lot of really good stuff. So kudos to a lot of you. A lot of people who are out there learning. A lot of people who are out there, you know, you can tell that people are actually putting effort into this. And so again, hopefully you got a lot of takeaways from this. You know, feel free to tag your team, tag your marketing department. If you work at Salesforce, get at us. We'd be happy to help. Obviously, I think there's a lot of opportunity. If you were Salesforce's agency, I apologize in advance. We're not wrong, though. I'm going to put that caveat out there. And again, if you want us to take a look at your profile, DM me, DM Courtney, DM Baird, DM Nick, DM Caleb, DM Kara, DM whoever, somebody who works at Skaled, and we'll try to get to you. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Make sure to stick around for Friday at 10 Eastern, where we'll have the recap this week, where we'll talk a little bit about this session, talk about changes to the sales nav.
Yep.
Changes to sales nav, updates that they've had, and a lot more. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.
Bye.
Quick announcement. We have invested a lot of time into YouTube, so go over to my YouTube channel, just type in Jake Dunlap, click the little bell, and you'll get notified every time we upload a video. We have over almost 300 videos now. Anything you want to know about sales, sales leadership, so get over and subscribe.